seriously. So, awesome night. I thought we had an attendance about 13,700, almost 13,800, which is the highest grossing NXT event we've done in Canada. And it was also the highest grossing. So, we had a great night. I thought across the board, phenomenal show. You know, I know. Talk about the pacing of the show a little bit. So when you do these shows, knowing where you're going at the end of the night, you really want to pace these shows out different. And I thought the pacing of it was right tonight. Sometimes you got to sit people down for things. You want to structure something a little bit differently, so that it doesn't. It's not putting a governor on something. It's structuring it so that it can connect in a certain way. And I thought we were really did a good job of that tonight. And then I thought, while obviously very reminiscent of the Three Stages of Hell kind of match, kind of wanted to do something a little different in that last fall to make this unique and make it a little bit unique to NXT. So we try to do something a little different, position it differently, not call it Three Stages of Hell just because it would then take away from the last one being different. It's kind of something that we can brand out as ours a little bit and make it into something more down the line, which I thought we did, you know, in this last match, sort of kind of being the end. I sort of equated it to a great movie series between Cole and Gargano, where you had this epic trilogy of movies, and you needed that final battle scene to really set the tone and deliver at the end, and it surely did. Two guys that went almost an hour. So that'll open up to questions.
All right, so we got a lot of people in the room and a lot of people on the phone, so we'll start in the room. Keep it to one question per outlet, please. Raise your hand if you got a question. Dan, you want to start? Yeah. Jen, what do you got?
I mean, you're in Toronto. Toronto's another one of the markets that kind of is known as taking on its own life. The audience, you know, a little bit different, like Philly. What did you think of the crowd tonight?
I thought they were great. You know, moments of ebb and flow, but like I said earlier, in the pacing of the show, you sort of want that ebb and flow. If you don't have it, you kind of need to, especially when you know that last thing. You know where it's going, and you know it's almost an hour, and it's a funny. There was, you know, in our monitors we have different things that are happening in the arena. So every now and then I'll peek over the crowd monitors, and you know, there was almost not a time in that entire match where I didn't look over and everyone was standing up on the wide shot of the crowd. When you know you're going to do that to people for an hour, there's an ebb and a flow. I thought this crowd was spectacular, as they always are here. But then again, I feel like we gave them something to be excited about. So,
guys in the room, just say your name and outlet so people on the phone know who you are. Matt?
That's TV Sports Montreal. With the crowd, you know, thanking Johnny Gargano at the end of the match, with William Riddle coming out, you know, to shake his hand, you know, it sure seemed like it's Johnny Gargano's farewell match with NXT, and you actually comment on that.
Seemed that way. I didn't tell Riddle to go out there. He was just standing there. He got overwhelmed. Look, how do you not thank Johnny Gargano for what you just watched? Especially when you booed him in the beginning. Heels. I mean, I think there's just a respect factor there. When you put on that kind of a show, win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter if you're the good guy or the bad guy. How do you not stand up for that and cheer it when the show's over? Regal was you know, I think part of what makes the passion of some of the people that are involved on a night like tonight is they share the same passion that everybody that's out there watching it does. You know, I know I do. I know Sean does. I know Road Dogg does. I know there's people here that you wouldn't know the names of. They all do. So, you know, they get carried away, and people walked out there, put him over on the end. As far as whether it's his swan song and he's done or he remains, there's another show this week coming up. You'll see.
School Bible, you go ahead.
School Bible.
You gotta say it loud, TV. Yes.
Josh was sport model. Street companies were incredible in time. The guys really
I'm sorry, the question is, do I? Yeah. I mean, look, you don't have that much raw athletic ability, that much charisma, that much everything. What's the limit, right? Like how do you put a ceiling on them? You don't. You just let them go do what they do, and hopefully you do the right things with them, and the sky's the limit. And you know, a lot of it depends on them. I've seen people with a lot of talent not do a lot with it sometimes, and and that ebbs and flows through people's careers. But right now, if you said what is the limit to the Street Profits, there isn't one. I mean, it's the reason I think you see them on Raw every week. They're so entertaining. They're still the NXT champions tonight. They will be in NXT. But when you're that entertaining, you get different opportunities. So I think that they can, especially as they grow, you have to understand, Doc has been with us for a little while, but Montez only been doing this for a short period of time, right? Like, it's scary to think how good he'll be once he gets comfortable. You know, it's crazy.
All right, let's go to the phone for two. I'm sure Mike Johnson is waiting.
Thank you. That's *1 for questions over the phone lines, and we do have Mike Johnson with PW Insider.
Been on hold since the conference call, right?
I never left. I've been here the whole time. Obviously, a really good show. Thank you for taking the question. The thought process behind as you mentioned, the 3 stages of hell. Obviously, a lot of weapons, a lot of violence, even some barbed wire. I have to ask, your father-in-law in the last stockholders conference call mentioned that the company would not go towards blood and guts and things of that. He had said that WWE had graduated from that. But there were obviously, even though there wasn't any really heavy blood loss here, there were obviously allusions to that sort of style with the barbed wire on the top of the cage and the heavy weaponry being used. So how do you rectify between one and the other?
When you say there was very little blood, you mean none?
It looked like there was some blood on the back of Adam Cole. No, it looked like there was some blood on the back of Adam Cole's back when the match was over.
Honest to God, you're going to call me out on that? Like he gets scraped on the table on the end? Like you were digging? No, honest to God, you're digging deep, reaching for this one. I got to tell you guys, there was nothing in that cage except for the barbed wire at the top, which didn't get used. Did not get used. There was nothing in that cage that you haven't been seeing on TV in WWE for consistently. So to say this is some kind, man, you guys got to get off your conspiracy theory stuff. You're digging hard, but you're making yourself look stupid. And I'm not trying to create. I just mean everybody in general, man. You're digging hard for something that ain't there.
Here's my point: is that Vince just said we're not going to go that route. We go left, and NXT goes a little right. My question.
No.
My question here is how do you rectify? Okay.
Yeah, what did he say? Blood and guts. Blood. Did you see blood? Intentional blood.
No, I did not. But I didn't say that. But the inference.
You just answered the question. You just answered the question. There wasn't any. So what you're digging for isn't there. Like, that's the ridiculous thing of this. There was nothing in there that you had not seen. Barbed wire as a deterrent from people leaving the cage did not get used. Nobody intentionally bled. There was no blood anywhere. There were chairs. There were kendo sticks. I mean, it's all stuff. They were different kind of pliers, weren't needle nose, but if you want to go there, maybe those were different. But like, what else was different? What was the gore and the guts that we went to that is making you say this was a different turn?
No, I'm asking where do you rectify the idea that he said we're not going to go that way, and then you tease it. I'm talking about the tease more than the actual physicality. Like, is there a conversation? Is there a point where you cannot go any further? That's my.
Yeah, we didn't go any further. Like a tease, we didn't. Man, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. You're digging for something that ain't there.
We're going.
Your phone's cut out, so we'll go to the next question.
Outside of our boundary, like how is that a discussion or a concern? That's the question I'm trying to get.
My argument isn't. Cutting out, Mike. He hung up.
Can you hear me now?
Got you now. Yeah.
All right. What did you not hear? So I think we got it.
I think the part where you were saying, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I don't know, but we'll just go on to the next question.
Anyone else on the phone? Next question.
Next, we'll go to Connor Casey with comicbook.com.
Hey, Paul. A bit of a different subject and not nearly as confrontational. Austin Theory was spotted in the crowd tonight, and I'm curious, has anything been put to paper in terms of signing him to NXT, or is he still very much just sticking with Evolve right now?
He is with Evolve right now, but we have an agreement with Austin Theory as well. But right now he is an Evolve talent. I think they have a phenomenal start of a not a start, but a promotion there that is helping talent get to the other level. If you go back when we very first started all this, we talked about going to the UK, and it's about working with promotions that help cultivate new talent, that help them get to another level. It's just not about booking a show and using talent because they're available. It's about cultivating talent, helping them grow and get to the next level. That's what Evolve does, and happy to work with them, and happy to be associated and working with a talent like Austin Theory, because I think he's got a bright future.
All right, we'll go back to the room for a few. Nick?
Matt Riddle made a surprise appearance tonight on the show, got a great reaction. He cut a video promo on social media this past week, got a lot of attention. His comments about Goldberg and Lance Storm and Jericho, even resulted in a little back and forth with him and Jericho. What do you think of the comments? What do you think of the back and forth with Jericho?
It's his opinion. Social media, I'm like to tell a guy what, he has an opinion, he can say it, and it is what it is. Matt Riddle's a very outspoken person, so, good for him. He's a big boy. Yeah.
Thanks for questions. Let's go to Spain. Thank you. Let's go for in Spain. We just saw two great women matches tonight. What is next for the women's division in NXT?
I think more of that. I think the women's division right now, to me, is on an interesting next sort of wave of a lot of women. You have what you saw tonight. Io Shirai, to me, arrived tonight. It's kind of been Io Shirai with a governor on her and somebody pulling the reins, and then she kind of had a breakthrough performance tonight for her. But I think Candice did as well. I think Mia Yim's a factor. I think Shayna Baszler. When you look across that division, I don't want to get into naming all the names because I'll leave somebody out and then they'll be upset and I'll feel terrible about it. But when you look at what's coming behind them, Dakota Kai, the Tegan Knoxes, the Rhea Ripleys, Toni Storms in the UK. Chelsea Green, Deonna Purrazzo, you have all these women that are there just chomping at it. Give me the opportunity, right? And injuries aside, and everybody coming back into the fold. Man, it's thick. There's a lot of women with a lot of talent, and as we roll into the future, I'm feeling you. There's a lot of. It's an exciting time. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. The time has been limited, but there'll be more opportunities for these women to shine, and they're all ready to go and just waiting for somebody to put them at bat.
I was wondering if there were any updates.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Would be ideal.
So it's yet to be seen. There's a lot of conversations happening. You know, it's like Hollywood. I've heard a lot of people tell me they're getting amazing movies being made for years and years and years. Sometimes they don't get made. There's a lot of talk, a lot of speculation, a lot of things being put out there. So we're just kind of weighing through everything and seeing where stuff's going to go. You know, right now, NXT's home Wednesdays on the network. We'll see from there. Jimmy Corderas. How you doing, man?
Good. Getting back to the women, in my opinion, the women's division, both in NXT and outside, is there an opportunity for them to actually branch out and maybe have their own show on the network?
So I get asked that a lot. I think you could. I just don't know that the variety of, to me, when you have shows that are hours different, but 2 hours, 3 hours, like, I don't know, the variety of things, different styles, to me is what makes it. You want cruisers, you want big guys, you want women, you want a little bit of everything. And to me, that's what makes the shows great. It's the variety of all that stuff. To me, if you see similar styles, and not that the women don't have different styles from each other and stuff, but I don't know. That's just my own personal feeling of it. I think they can do it. Evolution proved that. Mae Young Classic has proved that. I think they'll certainly have those opportunities, but I don't know if you almost don't. To me, it's not about like separating and segregating. It's about keeping it all together and just having the opportunities and equal playing and all of that. So to me, it's about equality of it. You put them all out there, and I don't mean that in the women. You put all the athletes out there, and you let the best rise to the top. Men, women don't matter, right? So I don't know, but that's a personal thing. So for me, it's not. But it's not a. I think you could go either way with it. It wouldn't be right or wrong. Yes.
Let's go back to the phones.
Next is Victoria Tedesco with WrestleView.
Hey, Paul. How are you? Great show tonight.
Thank you very much. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So you mentioned just before how you felt that Gargano and Cole definitely lived up to the hype tonight, for sure. And how are they feeling? Do they feel like they live up to the hype, both themselves, and any injuries coming out of this match? Because you mentioned in the previous conference call that Gargano was coming in banged up, but he did really well tonight. So how's he holding up?
Yeah, everybody seemed good. I mean, you asked me how they feel. They probably feel like they get hit by a bus. Tomorrow they'll probably feel like the bus backed over them.
Right.
But, yeah, but I think, to my knowledge, sometimes you get things after the fact or a little bit later, but to my knowledge, everybody walked away healthy for the most part tonight. So that's always when you do these things and there's stunts and there's everything else, you're holding your breath on all of it, that everybody walks out, same way they walked in. I think we did tonight, so that's a good thing. But everybody's going to be banged up. It's the nature of the beast.
Absolutely. No, definitely.
As far as Gargano goes, that was the whole point of him sitting down for a little bit, coming off a few things, was to heal up. He's healed up. That's why he was in the ring tonight. It was never something that he couldn't get past, but it was us kind of pulling the reins a little bit and saying, hold on for a second, just because I didn't want it to be a persistent, nagging thing. I wanted it to be done with.
Thank you so much, Paul. Again, great show tonight. I can't stress enough how amazing it was.
Thank you very much.
Next on the phone, please.
Next, we'll go to Ryan Satin with Pro Wrestling Sheet.
Hey, Paul. Thanks for doing this. So I love Velveteen Dream's entrance. Did he come up with that, or was that something that you guys came up with?
That's a little bit of a combo. We everybody, that's the one great thing about all this is it's a combo of ideas. You come up with stuff, then somebody adds to it, and somebody comes up with a different idea, and then you add to that, and it kind of just gets comboed, and we all get where we were tonight. And we were fortunate enough to be able to work with the Toronto Raptors and get them involved. They were excited to be a part of it. So, when you have that level of interest from outside people wanting to be involved in something like this, just makes it that much more special.
Yeah, totally. All right, well, great show tonight.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to do 2 more in the room and then get some sleep before SummerSlam. Irish Mirror?
Yeah, it's going to go to the Irish Mirror. Dana White said last weekend that the UFC won't match a contract offer for Chris Cyborg. Is WWE looking to get into Chris Cyborg?
Well, we don't promote MMA. He wants to learn how to do what we do. She gave me a call, but it's not so easy. It takes a little time. Yeah, you look at open to talking to anybody about being a part of this. I think as you saw with Ronda, as you've seen with others, it's great. It can be a really fun experience and can be very meaningful and allow you to use a platform you're on. But we're interested in the human being also, so there's a lot of factors that go into it. But anybody that wants to be a part of this, whether MMA fighters or other sports or whatever that is, just give us a call. That's what we're here for. If we can, if you have a passion for this and we think that you can, you want to try and live out a dream or something like that, we'll see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, especially in the room. Do you want to say? Somebody has asked.
Well, that's not the only one we at NXT has all the worldwide acclaim. When do you expect that the next one is only going to be?
So, I'm sorry, is the question is NXT going to go to Latin America? Yeah, I think it will over time. So many things going on sometimes that it's like, well, where do we want to go? Do we want to go there? Do we want to do this? Do we want to do that? And you can only do so many things at once, and especially with everything else we have going on. There's been a couple of opportunities where we've talked about it. I definitely would love to bring NXT there and do some business, but there's a lot of places around the world, so it really just comes out to weighing the options and the possibilities that you have in front of you as this brand builds out of just where do you want to go. But as you said, it's become, we say, it's become the third global brand. It really has, and there's a desire to see it. I did an autograph session last night for Connor's Cure, and there was people from Indonesia and just all these people that sometimes it's hard for me to think, like NXT, this little thing we started in Florida, is like they're hungry for it there, and it's global, so there's a lot of opportunities and choices. Where can we go? We'll see where's the best. But if somebody wants us to come there, so got social media, hit it up a bunch and win us over. We'll come. You ask me enough, we'll come there.
All right, everybody.
Anybody else? You've sat through it. Do you have any questions? Do you really? Do you have nothing? No, she's good. All right.
Just ask.
All right. Well, thank you all, Mike. Love you, man. Thank you guys for jumping on the call. I really appreciate the support. I appreciate the support for the show, for the brand, for WWE as a whole. I appreciate y'all being a part of it. The truth is, much like I said earlier about the fans and the people that do this and the passion for it, everybody that sits in this room, just like everybody else, is here because they're really passionate about the brand. The calls, the questions, all of it is because everybody's passionate about the brand. The events of it is passionate about the brands. It's all from great places, but I really appreciate that passion from all sides. So thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night and enjoy SummerSlam tomorrow.
That concludes tonight's call. Thank you for joining.